For a while, I have struggled with perfectionism. It's been great in some ways. I was natural when I was younger at channeling a lot of my more chaotic and angry expression into being quite emotionally controlled. It then, I guess, later formed into, people would often call me very mature, because when you withhold, you pause for a minute and you get a better understanding of people and things when you deal with your emotions internally. It also meant that naturally, I didn't realize, but I developed a lot of elegance and class, and that's what a lot of people would tell me. And I love that part of myself. I still very much believe in emotional control, and I'm really glad that that's my basis. I don't think I'd be where I am without that. And I think a lot of people, I think everyone should go through a period of learning emotional control. What I've been learning in the past year, you may have realized that I was posting and then all of a sudden I kind of disappeared for a year. I didn't forget about my channel. I just had to work through a lot of things, do a lot of inner work, and now I want to come back more consistently, and I will share that journey as best as I can with you as I go along. But what I want to share today is I've made a bit of a breakthrough from always expecting myself to be perfect, controlled, planned, think 20 steps ahead. And that's certainly helped me in a lot of cases. But I've realized now, as I come into more of a creator job, as I was an analyst before, that it's blocked me a lot. And I've realized that some people, I'm learning this about myself, we do better when we just create and then look back afterwards and say, okay, what was that? So I guess the best way I can put this is some people are great with a vision board if they want goals and plans. Like they'll get pictures, they'll get images, they'll have a specific car, they'll think about a specific amount of money, specific character, and that helps them focus and go forward. If you are someone like me, this does not help. I am much better when I follow a feeling, when I don't know specifics. And so for a little bit of time, I got a bit confused. I had this idea of like, I know what I want, why can't I move forward? Or why am I so resistant to creating vision boards or certain tips that would help other people, but just didn't help me. I think maybe I've been a bit more in touch with my creator side from the get-go. But this held me back in relationships. I didn't want to make a mistake in relationships because I knew I had a lot to learn still. I could be a little bit volatile if I bring someone else into my world, and I didn't want to hurt them, and I didn't want to go through the mess, and I didn't want to feel like I was using people. I didn't want to feel like I was being used. So this just shut me down. I then wanted to go into just burying my head in work. Well, the past 2 years, I forced myself, again, through my creative expression, I didn't know where it was going to land me. I quit my job and was like, okay, I'll just see what comes up next. But I've stagnated a bit for the past 2 years. I've still made a lot of progress. I guess the part of me that stagnated was the part of me that wanted to build an online community. And I just didn't believe that I could. And it's because I had this idea of I need to have a specific plan. I need to know why I'm doing it. I can't let my audience down. I have to have a purpose. And if anyone ever sees my channel, I have to have a reason why I started it. And I just built all these rules, which were probably just self-protection mechanisms. If someone were to look at my channel and they were to make fun of it, then at least I could say, well, at least I'm doing it for XYZ reason. But I realized at the same time, I wasn't sharing, and I don't like sharing something that's so intimate and in its early form of creation. Because I think it's just such a beautiful period and it needs to be nurtured. So with that already, I was like adding double protection. It was like I had the protection, I'm not going to share it with people who I think will judge it. But at the same time, I was then going, okay, well, it needs to be this, and this before I can even create. So what I found is sometimes letting yourself make the biggest mistake is sometimes the best. So for me, that turning point was I let myself go into a relationship dynamic with someone that I previously resisted because I just thought, no, this is going to bring up the chaotic stuff. I don't see anything long term in it. Like we have things that we just don't see eye to eye on. So there's no point in getting emotions involved. And I was just trying to control it. And I let myself go, okay, well, this time go into that dynamic, but also don't give up on your planning criteria. Keep that side happy too. Whereas what I do before is I say, I have to pick one or the other. I have to be super planned, or I can let myself go into this. I have, I'm either one or the other. I had a big split. And what I'm realizing now is sometimes you have to go through a period where you're holding both things at once. The chaotic, in my case, person you're dating, and also someone else who is a lot more structured and planning and fits my long-term view of who I want. Of course, there's the hard bit is doing the communication between all of it, which is a whole other video on communication I can do. But for now, just letting yourself go into the area that you're really resisting and let it be messy. And it may not make sense at the time. I certainly had a lot of people saying, I can't do what you're doing, but it made sense to me because I wasn't someone who, sometimes I just have to create. I just have to throw myself in and then look back afterwards and say, oh, that's what it was. So I recently got into songwriting, and people will ask me like, oh, what's the new song you're writing about? And I'll be like, I don't know yet, because it's not finished. Because it adapts so much, and it comes up as a little thread, and I'll keep pulling it, keep pulling it, keep pulling it, and it will adapt, it will change, it will evolve. And it's okay. It's okay to say I don't know what it is yet. Whereas before I'd feel the pressure of like, I need to know what it is. If I'm creating it, or if I'm to share it, I have to know everything about it. And no, I don't. No, I don't. I also realized that on one of my videos, one of my most watched videos, was thinking about why it did so well, or the natural ability to, it was just a bit easier to create a title for that video. And I realized I didn't plan it beforehand. I didn't judge it beforehand. I just had something I wanted to say. And then afterwards I thought, okay, what is this about? So I'm realizing that's just my pattern. I can't be, my perfectionism doesn't actually help or focus me. It's a block for creativity. It means that I've double protected myself, and that's not good. Absolutely have protection. But when, say, my first level of protection was, okay, I won't share it with people who I think will judge it, that means I can share freely. And that worked for a little bit, but then I suspiciously, and it sneakily, subconsciously came in, I then put another wall in and be like, oh, I have to know what it's about up front. Otherwise I'm gonna let my audience down, or it's not gonna be any good and no one's gonna watch or listen, or blah, blah, blah. And it just took me away from the reason why I started. And sometimes we just have to go in not knowing and let things be messy. And it means that we have to do the complete illogical thing, let it get chaotic, stand in the middle of it and go, I know this doesn't make sense, but this is what I'm doing. And from there, you can just communicate your feelings, what's coming up. Don't try and control it. Don't try and explain it. Let other people come and go too. That's probably a reason why I want to plan, because I want to control people not leaving. If I say or do what I want to do and it's a bit chaotic, I'm like, people are going to leave. Let them. And actually, I found a lot of times they don't. They stick with you and they appreciate that you're just sharing and you're standing in what you believe in. And actually, the people who resonate with you, they kind of love that. They love the slight chaos in you. They can handle it. They get it. And that's such a beautiful thing. And yeah, I hope this helps. I'd be really interested to hear your guys' experience, or your like manifestation styles, or things that you found have blocked you, because I would love to hear any sneaky blocks that come in, especially if you create something, or if you want to create something and you're aware of a block. Sometimes even just sharing it can help. I am all eyes. I will read the comments. I always do. I love them. And also thank you guys for your support. Even though I hadn't posted in a year, I've still got new subscribers, new comments, new encouragement as well. I see those and I really appreciate those. So thank you very much. And as I say, I haven't forgotten about my channel. I am still here. I don't think I could forget about it if I wanted to. It's been something I wanted to do for the past 10 years. I've slowly worked my way there. But yeah, thank you for listening, and I will see you next time.